When designing my space, I wanted it to be a space where all students have felt and learners felt welcomed in my classroom. When designing my classroom, I wanted there to be aspects throughout the classroom where students would see themselves, would hear about themselves, be able to learn and express their feelings and thoughts about their culture, their diversity, their families, and all of the above, so students really feel welcomed in the classroom. I find by doing these activities, it allows students to connect with their peers. The teacher is able to connect with their students because they are learning more about their lifestyle and their families, and I think it is a great way to include students in the classroom. A couple ways of how I make the parents and the families and the learners feel welcomed in my classroom is by having them displayed throughout our classroom. For example, on one of our wall spaces, we have one that is aimed towards the community. On this wall space, I allow students to bring in pictures of themselves, pictures of their families, stuff they like to eat, different things that they enjoy at home or their culture, their diversity, and they can bring it into the classroom and display it on the wall. I found that this is a great idea for students from experience. Students are constantly asking questions to their peers, like who is that, what is this, and they love to learn about each other. Another great thing I have found is using our library as a great way for students to feel welcomed. I have provided multiple different styles of books where students can see themselves in their books and learn about their culture in the books that we read in the classroom. And this is a great way for students to learn about each other's cultural backgrounds, and it brings up a great conversation throughout our classroom. So I believe that providing books where students can see themselves and learn about each other is a great way for students to feel welcomed. In addition, in my classroom, I also like to provide materials where students are able to use different languages, see different pictures, learn about places around the world. So I love to incorporate materials where students are seeing themselves again in the classroom and learning about things that they might be familiar with and some others might not be familiar with. Also, with our community wall space on this area, we have tons of information, again, where the pictures of students and their families are. We have resources available. We have community events coming up. We have our classroom letter and all sorts of different things that are really targeted toward the children's families and the children, so they know that all these events are going on and that they can be a part of them. This is a great way for the parents to see that we are encouraging the family involvement in the classroom and we want them to be a part of these things. And I believe that supplying all these things in the classroom will truly make students feel like they are welcomed into the classroom. I also strongly believe that the teacher has a lot to do with a child feeling welcomed into the classroom. And I believe as my role as a teacher, it is my job to make sure all of the students in my classroom feel welcomed and they are heard and seen in the classroom.